It's no secret that Madison, Mississippi is one of the top areas that people are looking to move to here in the Jackson, Mississippi metro area. And you know, we've made other videos about it. We've pointed out some things. We've even driven around the city, so you can check out our channel for those. But in this video, we're going to be diving into the pros and cons, all the good and all the bad of living in Madison, Mississippi. What's up, everybody? My name is Jared Laster. I'm a realtor with Keller Williams right here in the Jackson, Mississippi metro area. And if you're new to the channel, what we're doing here, we're giving you information just like what we're doing today. We're giving you info about the area, about specific details in areas, pros and cons, the good, the bad, taking around, showing you everything you need to know before moving to the Jackson metro. That's what we're showing you here on this channel. If that's what you're looking for, that's what you want to see, make sure you get down there, hit that subscribe button, click the bell. And that way you'll get notified every time we've got a new video coming out. And of course, if you're watching this kind of content, you're thinking about making a move here, especially if you're really seriously considering a move here or you know you're coming, take it one step further. You got to reach out to us. People are doing it all the time, every day. We love it. We cannot wait to help you make that move here to Madison or anywhere else in the Jackson metro area. So go ahead and reach out to us. You can call us, text us, email us, DM us. You can even break out your megaphone. You know, it don't matter how you get in touch with us, just as long as you do, because we've got your back moving here to the Jackson, Mississippi metro. And in this video, like I said, we are talking about the pros and cons of living in Madison, Mississippi. And we're actually going to start with the cons this time. You know, I flip it around every now and then, try to change things up. I know a lot of times people are coming here for the cons. You know, you can get online and it's easy to see all the good things. People trying to tell you why you need to move. It's such a great place to go. And I'm going to say Madison really even more so than some of the other areas, because Madison is consistently ranked as one of the top cities to move to in Mississippi. That may be why you're watching this video. You wanted more info on the #1 city to live in Mississippi, which if you go to a lot of different websites, it's going to tell you that that's Madison. So we're going to talk about the pros. We're going to talk about why Madison is that #1, but we're actually going to start with the cons this time. And I just wrote down everything that I could think of con-wise for living in Madison. And so we're just going to run through that in no particular order. These are the cons I could come up with for living in Madison, starting with Madison is a little bit farther from like the major airports, the Jackson International Airport. So if you're traveling a lot through an airport, you're going to be flying out. Yeah, that may be important to you. And so you're going to be a little bit farther away from that in Madison than you would be, say, if you were in Flowood, Brandon, Pearl, Jackson, even Richland, not Ridgeland, but Richland. All those are going to be a good bit closer to the airport down there, as well as I-20. That's the other thing. You are right on I-55, but you're not super close to I-20. You got to go down a little bit. So if you want to run east and west on the interstate, you do have to get to it. You're not right there on the interstate there for that. So a little bit of drive for that, you know, not a huge deal. You know, you're talking about, you know, depending on which part of Madison you're in, maybe 20 to 30. If you're on the very far, if you're up in the Reunion area, maybe 35 minutes to get to the airport. So, you know, nothing really too serious there, but it is something to think about if that's something that's important to you. So, with that in mind, let's go ahead and move on to my next con, which is just going to be something else you may want to be close to there in Madison. If that is hospitals and medical providers, you know, maybe you're retiring and moving here to Mississippi, and that's something that's important to you. You want to live to that, or you got, you know, a condition or anything where you've got to be close to a specialist or a major medical facility like a major hospital, you're probably going to end up going down to either Jackson or Flowood. There are medical providers, doctors, and things in Madison, so I'm not going to say you won't be able to find what you need there, but definitely the bigger hospitals and more of the specialists are down in that kind of the Fondren area close to there, Midtown, and then Flowood area kind of clustered there together. So that's really where the biggest medical stuff is here in the area. And you're, again, not super far away from it. You can get right on I-55 and be down there probably in about 15 minutes. Depending on traffic, or, you know, 15, maybe 10 sometimes. I don't think you get there in 10, but 15, 20 minutes, you can be at those places there. So another small con, again, not a huge deal, but trying to give you the negatives here. And moving on to the next con that I have on my list, it's just going to be the costs. So the cost of living in the whole area, as you know if you've watched any of our other videos, is pretty low, okay? But Madison is going to have one of the higher costs in the area. Now, for things like property taxes, those are generally going to be higher if you're in the city. And that goes for all, all the suburb cities like Madison, Ridgeland, Flowood, Brandon. That's generally going to be the case. Maybe not Pearl, but generally that's the case. You're going to be a little bit higher in those cities than you are outside of those cities. But Madison also has one of the highest, if not the highest, median home price in the area too. Looking at the last 90 days, it's right at about $390,000. So that's going to be on the upper end. It's not to say you can't find more affordable homes in Madison. You definitely can, even under $200,000. They are there and available. Well, I said they're there. They're available when they pop up. The market has been crazy. It's still crazy. But, when they do come up, there are plenty of areas within the city of Madison you can get under $200,000 when something does come up on the market for sale. And the next con I have on my list is that there are no apartments in the city of Madison. So if you're, maybe this is a pro for some people, I don't know. But if you're looking to rent an apartment, it's definitely going to be a con because there are 0 apartments for you to rent in Madison. Now, I'm not going to say you won't be able to find homes for rent there in Madison. They do exist, but another stat I saw is that 92% of people in Madison own their homes as opposed to renting. So that's pretty high percentage. Only 8% renters in Madison. So if you're looking to rent, it's going to be slim pickings in Madison. It's just how it is. But you can find some options if you like Madison. You want to be close to it. Ridgeland has a lot of great options, and it's literally right next to it. There's parts of it that you're almost, if you don't know, you're like, am I in Ridgeland? Am I in Madison? So Ridgeland really close, and you can rent some things there much easier. And if you want to go up a little bit farther north towards Canton, there's some more apartments up that way, and more rental properties, houses too in the Gluckstadt area if you're looking for that. Generally probably going to be just a hair cheaper too than the rentals that you might actually find in Madison, if you do find them. So there's that con. If you're looking to rent, it's going to be tough. Moving on to one that's, it's a con, but it's really not so much going to affect you, but it's something that I think you should know, and that is just the perception of Madison and the rest of the area here. Madison is kind of looked at, like I said, the prices are a little bit higher there. Not a lot of renters. So, factor that in and some other things. I mean, there's some rumors about, I'm just going to say, there's some rumors that involve pineapples in certain areas of Madison. There's a reason they sell some of these shirts at the local downtown shop. They sell some funny shirts down there, poking fun at all the areas. But you can see there's things those come from. So there is that perception in Madison. Now it's kind of a half joke, really. For the most part, everybody that I know in Madison is super friendly, super helpful, just like most of the people here in Mississippi. But for some reason whatsoever, I don't know, Madison just has that, kind of the uppity, what the word would be, snooty perception compared to maybe some of the rest of the areas that are maybe considered to be more down to earth. So don't come at me, people in Madison. I love you, I promise. I don't think bad of you, but I'm just trying to tell people, they're thinking about moving here, and maybe they should know. Anyway, all right, moving on to the next con, my last one, and this one is a more real con, especially if you're moving here and you're thinking about opening a business, building a business, building a building. If that's what you're going to get into when you're here, you should know that Madison is generally a little bit more regulated and strict on their codes and things, how things have to look. And I don't have to tell you this, if you drive around Madison, you're going to see it firsthand. Just look around at the buildings. You can tell that everything is supposed to look and needs to look a certain way in Madison. And you may like that. So if you like it, maybe it's a pro. But if you're going to be building a business, like I said, you're going to have a little bit more that you have to do to comply with those things in some cases, not all. But that's it. That's the cons that I could come up with. Now, I'm not really adding in, I could add in some more in the list there that we do for the whole area. Like the fact that, of course, yes, just like I say in the other pros and cons videos, it's hot. We're in Mississippi. You're in the central Mississippi area here. It's going to get hot in the summer. It's going to be humid. I can also say on the pro side, in the winters, you're not going to have to deal with much snow. You're not going to have to deal with winter weather, things like that. I'm kind of leaving that out of this list. I mentioned it just in case you haven't seen the other videos, but I'm not really making that the main cons for this list. All right, but that's our cons. That's what I've got. Let me jump on now to the pros. These are things maybe you already know, but you want a first-hand account of the ones that I could come up with. here they are. I'm not going to spend a ton of time on these because, like I said, I know people really care about the cons, but the pros are important, and then to make it worth it, I've got a little bonus tip for you at the end, so stick around for the end of the pros. So my first pro here, they have excellent schools. Get online, look at niche.com, see they are rated really well on niche.com, greatschools.com. You can get on there and see all kinds of information and reviews. So just top-notch schools, and that's whether you're actually in the city of Madison or in that surrounding Madison County area, because that's the Madison County School District that you're going to see ratings for there. So most of the schools in that district, again, take a look. Like my favorite site to look at those is niche.com. But you'll see those. They are all pretty highly rated schools. Moving on, I told you that you weren't super close to some of those things like I-20 in the airport, but you do have super easy access to I-55 because Madison kind of straddles I-55. So that makes it really easy to get down to Ridgeland or Jackson. You can also go down Highland Colony if you don't want to get on the interstate. You want to get over to the Renaissance or Costco. Those are in Ridgeland. Super easy to get there. Super easy to get to that shopping that's in Ridgeland because Madison is actually growing. They have a lot more shopping options than they used to. But I'd say for right now, Ridgeland definitely has more. So really easy to get to those on I-55. Next up, I mentioned the city is a little more regulated and how they look. Well, that's also going to lead to a pro because the city, it's a beautiful city. It's a very well kept city, very clean, very well taken care of. So, you may have to deal with a little bit more on how things have to be, but they really put a lot into appearances there and making sure Madison looks good. So that's always nice. You want to live in a place that looks nice, and Madison's definitely going to do that for you. And right along with that, the next con has, along with being a beautiful city and having the fancy architecture that they do on some of the buildings, they've also got some really nice parks. Big parks like Liberty Park. You've got trails running through there. You've got playgrounds, ball fields, all that at these different parks. Really beautiful area. I like the Strawberry Patch Park. I think it's Strawberry Patch Park over there off Old Canton Road. If you go there, they've got like a little pond there. The trails running through. There's always some geese running around through there. Playground too. And if you don't know already, I'm a little bit of an aviation enthusiast. And it's right there north of the Madison airport. Now, I mentioned you're farther away from the big airport, but Madison does have a smaller, more general aviation focused airport. And they used to do some flights out of there semi-commercially. I don't think they do that anymore, but you can go there and learn to fly and things like that. But there's always the little planes. They'll be flying around, like a small Cessna or something like that. They'll fly right over that park, and I just think it's cool. So if you like that kind of stuff, maybe check out Strawberry Patch Park. It's pretty cool. We actually did a whole video about all the parks in the whole area, or most of them, and I'll pop that up there so you can see. And we did hit a couple of those parks in Madison for you to see. But moving on from that one, I've got another pro here, and that is just Madison is a very safe city. And if you get on, again, niche.com, they do more than just schools. They've got it ranked pretty well there, and you can go and look at some stats. So if you look at the crime stats for Madison and compare that to the national average, it's just way below the national average for those crime statistics there. And they also did a poll there, and they surveyed the people living in Madison, asked them does it feel safe. 64% said it feels very safe, no crime. 29% said it still feels pretty safe. They also asked if you felt the police were reliable, responsible. 71% of those that they polled said the police were very visible and responsive. So that's something that is obviously very important to a lot of people. You want to feel safe where you live, and based on what you see there, Madison is going to have that for you too. And the last thing that I have for my pros here before I get to that bonus tip is that there are some exciting new developments going on in Madison. A lot actually, just all around. They're going to have really kind of a downtown area. They've already got some kind of nice little kind of a downtown type feel spots with some local shops. They have a lot more of that coming up soon, some new development there. And it's all in an area with a big arch gateway they built going into it. And they put on that gateway Historic Madison, which is a little confusing because if that's the Historic Madison area, almost everything in there is going to be brand new. So I don't know. I don't know the thought process there. Maybe somebody from Madison comments and tells me that I'm wrong and why the real historic things are there too. I don't know. Maybe my wife was telling me about it the other day. We were talking about it, and I said, yeah, well, I guess one day it will be historic, but as of right now, most of the buildings up there are new. So anyway, that's what I've got the pros. Now, I want to tell you this: if you are going to think about moving to, or you really like Madison, but maybe you do want to avoid some of the things that go along with living in the city, but the higher tax rates, things like that. You want to get close to the city, but not right in it. Definitely check out some of the areas around there. Gluckstadt, north of Madison, just recently incorporated. So you can check out that area, but there's also plenty of neighborhoods out there in the unincorporated area of the county that you can get into. Just watch out for if you're up around, there's a neighborhood called Livingston. It is in 16th section land, so you're technically on leasehold if you're looking at that one, but I'm talking about beautiful homes, beautiful scenery out there. Out that way, but there's plenty of things out that way too that are not leasehold and they're not in an incorporated city area, so you can save a little bit of money if you want to go that route and be right there close to everything that Madison has to offer. All right, y'all, hope y'all enjoy this video. I hope you learned a little bit from it. If you did, it'll be really cool if you get down there, smash that like button for me. It really helps us out with the YouTube algorithm, helps us get this information out to more and more people just like you. So we appreciate it, and they do too, for you going down there, hitting that like button. If you want to see more of these videos, make sure you do go down, hit the subscribe as well, and click the bell, and you'll get notified when the videos come out. We've got them coming out every single week. You definitely don't want to miss those. And of course, if you are that person who is thinking about making a move here to the Jackson, Mississippi metro area, whether it's Madison or anywhere else around here, we got you covered. We got your back moving here. So go ahead, reach out to us, give us a call, text, email. You can DM us. You might even just break out your megaphone. Like I always say, it don't matter just as long as you do, because again, we got your back moving here to the Jackson, Mississippi metro area. Thank y'all for watching this one. As always,